Everybody's phones are off. I'll even double check mine. Thank you so much for coming. I don't think you realize, unless you've done this, how many hours and hours and hours and hours go into preparing a senior recital, just the last 9 months that we put it together. But all that, when did you start piano, Helen? I don't know.
I think it was like kindergarten.
Yeah.
Did you? Oh, I started you early?
First grade.
Yes.
And you thought I was Julie's age, so I showed up and you were like, "Wait, you can't read?" And I was like,
Oh, okay, that's even longer than I thought. Tonight I feel like not only am I closing a chapter in my life, but I feel like I'm closing an entire book. Because we've known the Jameses for over 20 years, and my very first student was Brianna, just months after we moved here. And I think in my mind, I can remember her first coming to our house on Arrowhead Trail and taking piano, and how much I loved it. And then I taught some of the James boys.
Try.
That was an experience.
Try.
Right, and then I got Helen. And it
Bless
has
your heart.
also been a joy. And so to not teach a James, I don't know how this is going to look. I don't want to write a new book, but I guess I will. And I just want to say I appreciate your family and your trust in me to teach your kids. And I guess if I get too lonely without them, Ben could come along and finally take.
I think he just does singing.
No, Ben? Okay. All right, so I guess I'm done with the James family. But I just want to say it's been a joy to teach Helen. She has a beautiful program. She's going to play about every style there is. That might be a slight exaggeration, but every song has a different style, and she changes styles beautifully. And she really enjoys playing them, I think. Except for a few weeks. We had to give some a few weeks off. You're really sick of this song, aren't you? So let's give it a break. So let's begin, and I've asked Zach to open in prayer.
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you so much, God, for just allowing everyone to come out this evening. I just want to thank you so much for Helen and all the hard work she's put in, God, over the last 12 years. Into piano, God, I just want to pray that you bless this evening. Bless her final recital, God. I just want to pray that you just give her a peace while she's up there, that everything will go smooth, God. I want to thank you so much for Miss Deborah and all the time and effort she's poured into Helen, God, and our family when it comes to piano and everything else, God. I just want to thank you for the ministry she has, God. I just want to pray that tonight we'll just glorify and honor you first. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
So we're going to begin, unlike anybody else's recital, with my first student and her sister, Brianna. And we are going to begin this recital with a bang, literally. All right? going to change movies now. Going to play a piece by Felix Mendelssohn, and I'm not sure I've had a student play Mendelssohn in a recital. And I began to look up who he was. Was he a Christian? Did he have a spiritual life? And this was something I read. The visitor arrives late, tapping at the door, just in case the family is asleep, doing it quietly. When no one answers, he lets himself in and makes his way toward his friend's music study. He knows it well from engaging in many friendly dialogues there that have continued long into the night. As he enters, he sees his friend engrossed in his Bible. The visitor stands quietly, awkwardly, for a moment. Finally, the master of the house glances up at the visitor, showing no sign of surprise and offering no greeting. "Listen," he says, and excitedly begins to read aloud. And behold, the Lord passed by. He reads on and on, his voice rising in pitch in the drama of the passage that overwhelms him. The visitor recognized he was reading the story of Elijah when suddenly the reading stopped. Would not that be a splendid for an oratorio, asked Felix Mendelssohn, setting the Bible on his desk and searching his friend's face for a reaction. Thus, the greatest oratorio of the 19th century was conceived. Now, we're not doing an oratorio. We're doing a piano piece, and Mendelssohn was a beautiful pianist. He wrote many songs. And many times in his manuscripts, at the end, would be the words, Lass es glücken Gott, which means, let it succeed, God. Others said about him, he was faithful to the Christian religion and took it seriously. He had great respect for the biblical word. And the last sentence, Mendelssohn never hesitated to display his faith openly to those around him. And I think of the